So I'll tell you, Maisa, there was a very simple, very pashut yid, a water carrier named Reb Lipa. This Reb Lipa was, like I said, a pashut yid, a simple Jew, God-fearing Jew. Went about his business honestly, in a modest way, and every single day he was hired as a water carrier for a number of the people. Happens to be a number of wealthier people in his community that they didn't have any running water. Even the wealthiest person, there was no plumbing, so they hired this Reb Lipa to bring water for them every single day, a few times a day, and so on. That was his job as the water carrier. So there's one particular day that he's schlepping the water back and forth, and he notices in the town square there seems to be a big commotion. Something's going on. Town squares are always busy, but something unique. It looked busier than usual. So he goes over to the town square and he notices that there's this holy-looking person. There's something special about this person in his eyes. But he was standing on top of a box and he's giving a drasha. He's darshaning to everyone. And Reb Lipa, as he's walking towards the scene, he's first looking at everyone else and he notices how mesmerized they are. They're mamish, just like magnetically pulled to the speaker, this Rav, this darshan. And then he looks at the Bal Darshan, the one that's speaking, the rabbi that's speaking, and he immediately understands what's so magnetic about him. There's just an aura about this person. And whoever this person was, this tzaddik is saying stories and saying different vertlach and so on. And little bit, in parentheses, that was the Baal Shem. It was the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov is standing up there and he's darshaning and so on. And Reb Lipa, as he's listening, he begins to notice that there's a certain theme, running through all the stories and all the different chazals that the Baal Shem Tov is saying and quoting. And the theme of that particular day was Rachmana Liba Boy, that Hashem wants our heart. Hashem wants our heart. And that's what the Baal Shem Tov was talking about over there in that maimed of that town square, how every single Jew, we offer Hashem, we have to give to Hashem everything we have and so on, different ways to serve Him. But the main thing is that a Jew has to be able to find ways to give your heart to Hashem. That was the main message. And Reb Lipa is listening to this, and for some reason that message struck a very deep chord within him, that the Rebbeinu Shalom wants my heart, that I should be able to give Hashem my heart. And okay, fine. So after a little bit of time, so the Baal Shem Tov finished darshaning and everyone goes their way. Reb Lipa is standing there and he's thinking, to give Hashem my heart, what could I do to give Hashem? What does that mean to give Hashem my heart? How could I do that? And so he continues his job of schlepping water to different places. But the whole day he's thinking about this, like, what does that mean? I love Hashem. He gives me so much. I'm so grateful. And I'm so humbled by Hashem's kindness in my life. And I really do feel, says Reb Lipa to himself, that I should give back to Hashem. And the Baal Shem Tov, this Maggid, said that I have to give my heart, but I don't know what that means. And so he begins to daven that Hashem should reveal to him what it means for Reb Lipa to give his heart to Hashem. Like, Hashem Yisbarach, show me what it means. And so he's continuing his day, schlepping water back and forth. And then all of a sudden, it hits him like a ton of bricks. I know what it means to give my heart to Hashem. I know, and it was such clarity. It was such strong conviction that idea came to him, that he said to himself, no matter what happens, this is how I'm going to have to give Hashem my heart, with this idea. But he knows that the idea is not so pashut, that he has to speak to his wife about it first. So he comes home, and after a long day, so as usual, he comes home and his wife is preparing supper for him. So they sit down and he asks, his Rebbetzin asks, "Nu Lipa, how was your day?" It's very, very nice. And his wife noticed that Lipa was like playing with the food, but he wasn't eating. And so his wife asked him, "Lipa, is there something on your mind?" So Reb Lipa says, I'll tell you the truth, yeah. So what happened today, something interesting, that, this morning when I was going through the town, I noticed that there was a Maggid, there was a preacher, a rabbi that was there, and he was darshaning, and it was really amazing. And he said over the following message. The message was, this is what Lipa is telling his wife, is that Hashem, the biggest thing we can give Hashem is our heart. And so his wife said to him, what does that mean, to give Hashem your heart? And so Lipa says, well, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I wasn't sure. But then it became clear to me what it means to give Hashem your heart. So his wife asked him, so what does it mean? So Lipa said, what it means for me, what it means for us, is that from now on, I'm going to trade water, the roots of carrying water, of water schlepping. I'm going to trade my route with Shlomo Daiv's route. Shlomo Daiv was another water carrier in town, but now this Shlomo Daiv didn't have the mazel of this Reb Lipa, and instead of being hired by all the wealthy people of the town to bring them their water, this Shlomo Doiv was hired by the shuls of the town to supply the shuls with water. Now, the shuls were not, they paid maybe half of the wages that the Gevirim, the wealthy people of the town, paid for their own personal homes. And so it was always known that Reb Lipa was definitely doing a lot better than this Reb Shlomo Doiv. Now, this Reb Shlomo Doiv was a very good Jew, an honest Jew, a God-fearing Jew, and he never complained about his lot. But it was always one of those things that, Nebuch, of all the poor people in town, of all the water carriers, he's the poorest. And so Reb Lipa said to his wife that while I was schlepping water, it hit me like a ton of bricks, that the way I can give my heart back to Hashem is by trading positions with Shlomo Doiv. That, listen, Baruch Hashem, we've saved up money and we're doing okay. Shlomo Doiv is not; he's struggling. I want to give him my chelik in the water carrying business, and I'll take on his chelik. So his wife says to him, Lipa, listen, that's terrible. You're going to ruin our parnasa. Then we're going to be as poor as him. I don't let you do that. You can't do that. You have to find another way to give Hashem your heart. But Lipa says, listen, I'm telling you, it's so clear to me. This is what Hashem wants of us, and this is how we can pay back Hashem. This is what we're doing. So the wife is like, but I'm not going to let you do that. It's not good for us. It's not good. We have two sons, our two children. We have to raise them. So Lipa saw that his wife was being very strong about it, and she is making a valid point. L'maisa, they have a family to raise of their own. So Lipa said to his wife, listen, this is what I feel in my bones, what Hashem wants of us. But I understand that we have two sons, and we have to raise them and support them. So he said to his wife, I'll make you a deal. The deal is that I'm going to go about doing this, and I was going to do this purely l'shem Shemayim without asking anything in return from Hashem. I wanted to give him my heart straight. But because you're right, and we do have two sons, what I am going to say to Rebbeinu Shalom is as follows. I'm going to make this trade. I'm going to give my root to Reb Shlomo Doiv, and Shlomo Doiv is going to give me his root. And I'm doing this, Rebbeinu Shalom, because I want to express my devotion to you. But one thing I am asking in return, and my wife is making a good point, Rebbeinu Shalom, is that in this schus, our two sons should be able to be zocheh to become tzadikim and to be raised in the right way, and the words of Torah should become sweet in their mouths, and they should be able to have everything. We should have everything we need to raise them, not only physically well, but also spiritually well. And with that, his wife was masking to such a deal. So that's what happened. The next day, Lipa goes over to Shlomo Doiv. It tells him the whole thing. We're gonna trade, and Shlomo's like, "What are you trading? I have much worse. This is what I want to do. Don't ask any questions." And that's what happened. Those two sons of Reb Lipa became the two famous tzadikim, the Reb Melech and the Reb Zusha. No, so it's impossible for us to know what causes what. But at the end of the day, it's not surprising that those two tzadikim came from parents that had such mesirus nefesh and such devotion to Rebbeinu Shalom and to each other and to other Yidden. Hashem should bless us. We should be zeicha to give Hashem our hearts and to find the right ways to do so with mesirus nefesh and with love and with dedication to Hashem and to other Yidden. We should be zeicha to have a week full of mazel and bracha. Ad b'li dai v'yeskal tzedek m'her v'yemeinu amen.